Hey guys, I wanted to do a video tonight on what does the age of Aquarius really mean? This is something I'm also excited about talking about. I don't think a lot of people are grasping what it really means. It's so weird. You hear a lot of people saying we're going from religion to science, and some people say we're moving into more of a kind of humanitarian, hive-like future, hive minds. I have an Aquarius stellium. I am an Aqua sun. I also have my Mercury and Mars in Aquarius, which of course makes me a bit kind of in your face a little bit. I think it's a waning gibbous moon, which also makes me kind of appear as a know-it-all, even when I'm trying to talk in a way that's relatable and respectful to your opinion. I can come across as someone who thinks I'm, smarter than you, and I apologize if I do. I get excited, very. Anyway, I have notes. There's no way I can cover everything. Probably I want to keep my videos around 25 minutes so that it's bite-sized chunks. Anyway, so the age of Aquarius, what does it mean? We are known as water bearers, aren't we? A lot of people mistake us as water signs, which of course we're not. Growing up, it was so strange because I lived in a family of all water signs. My brother was a Scorpio, my dad was a Cancer, my mom was a Pisces. And I guess you'd call it gaslighting that went on. My mom was always saying, you're too sensitive, you're so dramatic, you're melodramatic, you're a drama queen. Tone it down. Like, you can't live your life based on your emotions. And they were constantly trying to snuff out my personality. I mean, even when I was a young child, I had past life dreams. I felt like telepathy was real. I felt like communicating with animals through my mind was real. There's a lot of stuff that I just knew that they would say is a sin, it's a lie, it's not real, it's not true. And it was so weird I have two air sign stelliums. I have a Libra stellium too. So I really want balance and justice and equity. And, growing up constantly being told I was wrong and constantly being told that I didn't know what I was talking about. And most of the time I'm asking rational questions. And these rational questions were met with, I'm too sensitive, I'm dramatic. Granted to say, even my mom being a Pisces, Pisces are really much more likely to live in a fantasy world. And I want to get into the age of Pisces, but I do really want to emphasize the importance of moving into the age of Aquarius first, because that's why I'm making this video. So, us being water bearers, what does that mean? What does it mean to you? I'd like to know. A lot of people want to say Aquariuses are into technology, science, being rational, blah, blah. Well, I love the fact that if you look at what Christ said in the Bible, he's talking to this woman at the well. He didn't judge her for the fact that she had several husbands and lovers. He wasn't condemning her to hell. He wasn't too good to speak to a woman, unlike religious people were. And he told her he's living water. He told her, if you come to me, you're never thirsty. A lot of people today really don't understand who Christ is. He came at the very beginning of the age of Pisces. The Christianity is represented by the fish. And of course, you can look up history as to why and what the word meant and how it was symbolism for them to remain safe. But, that living water is meant to be in us. We're meant to carry it. Mary Magdalene, way back then, is not the Holy Grail. You are. I am. We are. We are the bride of Christ. We are the bride of God. We are the temple. People are still fighting over a heart of stone. They're fighting over Jerusalem, Zion, this city made of stone. We're the city. The kingdom of God is inside of us. That's why Christ came and told us this. He did it at the beginning of the age of Pisces because he knew. He knew it was the beginning of a very religious, what would you call it? You look at Pisces, the house of undoing, imprisonment, illusion, delusion. It is a ruled by Neptune. It's a sign of lies, deception. And he knew that the religious people were going to kill and slaughter and massacre relentlessly for 2,000 years. He knew. So he tried to come and prepare people for it and say, love each other. Love each other. You know, it's inside of you. We don't need a building. You know, the Bible already mentioned that the temple, this heart of stone, would be replaced with a heart of flesh. And Christ said, hey, the end is near. Mark 1:15, you know, repent, the kingdom is inside of you. And again, like in my last video, I brought up how important it is to maybe spend time watching near-death experiences. There's a lot of NDE stories on YouTube. Watch them. You'll see very quickly there's a resounding theme. Religion is pointless. Pointless. Christ never meant for Christianity to become a religion. He never meant for it to become man-made dogma, to put heavy yokes and burdens on people they cannot bear. They're suffering. People are suffering under this. Pisces it's a dying reign. It's a dying cause, raging all the way down as it dies. You know, religion itself is a beast. It is like the beast, you know? And it's just not just spiritual religion. Science itself is like a religion. Political parties, religion. You look at how people worship both Trump and Obama. I mean, obsessively worshiping these people, drawing like cartoons of them looking like gods and deities. Okay. And then you look at how so many people are willing to kill in the name of what they believe. The opposite of love. Anything that you obsess over and you put on this pedestal, you make a religion, is dangerous. You watch these near-death experiences and the resounding theme is, number one, it is love. It's a condition of your heart. How you treat people. You know, it's not, did you go to church? Did you get baptized? Do you know Christ? A lot of people never even saw Christ when they went and had a near-death experience. Some people have. I don't think Christ ever came to make it about him. He made it because he wanted you and he wanted me to be one with him, to be one with the Father, to be one with our Creator. He wanted us to feel free, set free by the truth. You know, that's what the age of Aquarius is. We carry the water. We become that Grail. We overflow. We think about the tarot card, the Ace of Cups. You look at how that card is overflowing. I mean, that cup overflowing. That should be me. That should be you. But we live in a society of collective narcissism. Yes, collective narcissism, which I believe is akin and very related to and intertwined, woven up with the perfect possession. Perfect possession, Father Malachi Martin talked a lot about that. I think he rebelled a lot against his own church. And he talked about how these perfectly possessed people, you can't really exorcise because they want the evil in them. They like it. It's cozy. They want to keep it very close to them. They ask the demons in. You look at public school systems. You look at religious systems. You look at political systems. If you don't bow down, surrender, give up your identity, your individuality for a hive mind, and commit to them with your whole being, they want to destroy you. You'll see schools talk about anti-bullying campaigns, you know, how you should be yourself, but all the while, sit down, shut up, do what you're told. No, you can't go to the bathroom. No, you can't dress different. No, you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. Sit, shut up. That's not how kids learn. I'm sorry. It's how you, condition them to accept toxic environments. You look at the amount of people on antidepressants, okay? People, like, it's funny how religious people will judge, say, a Wiccan who might put, lavender oil on a broom and bless their house with it and call it a spell. To me, that isn't really a spell, that's a prayer. I do think there's a difference in between a spell and a prayer. A lot of people disagree. I may talk about that some other time. But yet in the Bible, sorcery really is more akin to, how would you pronounce it? Pharmakia, pharmacia. I don't know how you want to say it, but it's pharmacy, okay? Any kind of drug that alters your mind. Did you know even Tylenol can alter your mind? If you take it pregnant, your child is more likely to have ADD and anger issues. Yeah. And look at all the people on antidepressants, okay? Why? They're having to shut down their own intuition. If people are walking around anxious, depressed, upset, scared, it's because their bodies are saying the environment they're in is toxic. Toxic as fuck. Okay? We're living in a toxic... I can't even begin to explain how we've been conditioned to accept this life. That is not healthy for you or me. Okay, the age of Aquarius is going to be where we really learn how to manifest and bring out the creator in us, make the kingdom of heaven real in everyday life. God wants us to put on our big girl and boy panties and undies and say, you know, I'm responsible for my future. You can't spend your whole life on your knees going, please help me, please, 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 and not actually realize he wants us to be spiritually responsible. We can create a better future. We can actually create the new heaven and the new world ourselves. In a way, he wants us to save ourselves. Of course, we can't do it on our own. You know, we can't worship ourselves. But through him, through invoking the great creator, we have the potential to make this world the place it's supposed to be. But instead, we're letting this delusional Rothschild Babylonian, empire of evil tell us what to do. I mean, come on. They actually fund both right and left. You know, they fund both sides of every war. I'm sure they're funding both Palestine and Israel. You know, they fund both sides of everything. Almost every single thing in the stock market is owned by these people. They own the monarchy, the fake monarchy in England. It was supposed to be a Davidic bloodline that ancient Scottish people wanted, and it got overtaken by these ancient Babylonians, and they're evil. I mean, look at the Rothschild even built the Tower of Babel, for crying out loud. I mean, it's like they're asking for it. And don't stress about those people, and don't try to, you have so many of these conspiracy theorists out there, and they're wanting to, fight them and attack them, get them in. Most of the opposition you see is controlled opposition. Trump controlled opposition. Alex Jones controlled opposition. They conveniently skip the most important part, like the fact that Trump also had BlackRock on his administration, just like Biden does. Whoopsie, did I say that? And Alex Jones, he conveniently doesn't mention, the Rothschilds, right? So they're running this current show. They'll fall. Don't sweat it. They will fall. Every tall cedar falls. Every time pride comes, so does the fall. And they're trying so hard to grasp all that they think that they've earned. We don't win by trying to use brute force. We don't win by trying to get angry or rioting. We win by, from the inside out, becoming living water. They're so afraid of us. They're afraid of us. They're afraid of the empowerment we have by living in love. The official age of Aquarius doesn't begin, I think they say about 2160, right? So we're about 94% full Pisces loaded. We're at the last part of those 3 decans where Pisces energy is the most outrageous. I mean, oh Lord, the religious fanatics and the political fanatics are losing their damn minds. I mean, they are so clinging to their delusions. And I really want you guys to, look within and know how to manifest that love and that light. And, there's a lot of people that talk about manifesting and talk about light and all of these different things. And you do have to realize that, you can't do it all on your own. It's not about manifesting a Mercedes-Benz. It's not about manifesting success or money. It really is about manifesting through you the highest good for all people, for every living thing that you're encountering and who you're around. All the rest follows. You hear these people say, you can create anything you want if you just want it bad enough. Okay, well, so why are you busy wanting a Ferrari instead of wanting peace on earth? I mean, what does that say about you? What are you thinking in your free time? But really, if you look at what we're going to be in the age of Aquarius, it's really possible that, yeah, we may have scientific advancements. If you really think about it, if we removed all of the baggage and the narcissistic grooming we've been going through, children could easily learn like devices and teach themselves almost everything they need to know to graduate before they're even like 12 years old. Like, that's how smart kids are. You know, if we weren't in a toxic environment where advertising and money isn't the most important thing. I mean, you look at like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and what is their main goal? They hire people that make it addictive, like for slot machines, and it's like fast in your face, move on, fast in your face, move on. And you know, I had talked to my kids about how even commercials, even when I was a kid, it kind of like you just start to focus, then bam, they hit you with this crazy stuff, and you wonder why there's ADD and ADHD. Actually, it's just kids being kids, okay? And yes, some of us have disabilities that are extremely hard to deal with, but thousands of years of children being children and getting to run and play, and then in the last 100 years telling them, sit down, shut up. You know, most kids throughout history learned by working, by doing, by moving. They'd be taught some, they'd move some, they'd play some. Be taught some, move some, play some. And as they matured, they worked harder and harder. Many of them are working much harder than kids today by a very young age. And yes, sometimes it was in a very cruel environment, but many times it was fulfilling to them. You know, they got to move and do and be. It's not right that we forced kids to sit down all the time, and yet we allow these corporations to influx this constant flashing of look at this and look at that. Even the way the school system is set up, where you do 1 hour of this subject, how about move to the next one? Just sit down. As soon as you start getting focused on one subject, oh, get up, go to the next one. Oh, get up, go to the next one. You know, when I was little, I used to homeschool the kids in a fashion of I would do STEM one semester, and I would do the like reading, language arts, history in the next semester. And the flow was so amazing because if they got focused into math, they could stay in that flow. And you know, science and math are so kind of similar, they go great together. And then history, you learn a lot more like you would language arts, so we would do that the next semester. And what's so weird is, you know, I worried about this at first, like, will they retain it the next year when we start back up on math again? I was blown away. Not only did they retain it better, but when I put them in public school temporarily, only to have to pull them back out because Texas schools were so strict and my son was sick too often, they gave us 5 days of excused absences a year and basically said they're back home. And anyway, when they took the test, oh, they like way advanced. And then when we moved up here into Arkansas, so that hopefully I could have a job and they could go to school that is a lot more lenient here, put them in public school again advanced. They were so advanced compared to other kids. And the longer they stayed in public school, the more it dumbed them down. My daughter was in all the gifted classes and whatnot, or she was in one, but they had the option to be in all the gifted if she wanted, and she didn't really want to pressure herself. But when COVID came, we pulled him back out, and they treated the kids so cruel who opted for virtual. They bullied them, they harassed them, they made them feel awful. So we just decided to switch back to like homeschool like we did before. And I'm telling you guys, if we can allow this age of Aquarius to take place accordingly, our kids can blossom. We can blossom. You know, you've got to realize that the age of Pisces was not really a healthy age at all. You got to think, what else is Pisces rule? Drug addiction, alcohol addiction, food addiction. Look at the obesity in this world today. Look at the alcoholism, the drug addictions, the drug overdoses. You know, I really think we should be excited about where we're going at this time. And it's not going to be easy. It probably will get worse before it gets better. But I'm noticing that the people who are separating themselves from toxicity, separating their kids from it, they're thriving. I mean, they're happy and they're beautiful. And when I'm around toxic people, it is hard. It's hard on me. But when I'm around like-minded individuals and open-minded people. There's so many beautiful people in the world, and it's almost like when when you see them and they see you, it's like your souls are like, hey, I know you. And we just light up for a moment. We may just pass in the night, not really see each other ever again, but that moment our light shines even brighter. And I'm hoping that we can get to where we're doing that a lot more. I want to make sure there's not anything on my notes I'm forgetting, because when I get to rambling, I'll forget stuff. I have fibro and I have brain fog. Part of my gift, I guess. Let's see. God, and that light around the phone is not helping. Oh, I like this. Okay. I want you guys to see the age of Aquarius as Sigma time. Okay. I have a somewhat narcissistic father who is consistently telling me what an alpha he is, what a wolf he is, and that I'm an alpha too, and Angel, you're an alpha and you're a leader and you're controlling and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like I've totally I don't have time. I don't have the energy to really control myself. I have zero desire to control anyone else, but he's always projecting onto me this stuff. And when I finally learned what a Sigma was, I was like, oh, that is me. That is so me, because I don't follow anyone, but I also don't really like to lead. Like I kind of want to maybe push and nudge so that you can lead yourself. I think that's what we should be doing. There's way too many sheeple in the world and not enough people who want to lead. Not many people want to take accountability for their actions. This alpha, beta, omega society is going to be met with Sigma. People think the age of Aquarius is going to be this age of, like I said, a hive mind. No. We're not going to sacrifice our individualism for humanity. It is our individualism that makes humanity beautiful. This big globalist government right now that is so oppressive, whether you realize it or not, it is this global oligarchy that's controlling everything, okay? I really feel like it's going to be replaced with more village-like, local, sustainable economies. They can try to make it globalist all they want to, but the simple fact is somebody in Washington, D.C. has no idea how to tell people in the mountains in Alaska how to live. Somebody that's in the Vatican can't tell someone in South America how to live. They don't have the same culture, the same environment, the same issues with food, water, shelter, local groups, the individual beauty of it. If we have individual localized tribal-like villages, again, yet with the technology we have today, we can actually thrive, because we need to get back to humanity. This social media, which I don't do. I mean, I know I'm on YouTube, and I just started an Instagram for my YouTube, but I quit Facebook and all these things because it seems to breed narcissism and it seems to punish individual thought. And it's kind of like, if you don't like a certain group of people and you don't like the way they think or the way they function, instead of trying to cancel them, or instead of hating in the name of love or excluding in the name of inclusion, just choose not to be around that group of people. You have your own biases too. We all do. The key is to find people that help you, what would you call it? Blossom into what is positive about you. Quit hanging on to the differences that make you angry or bitter. That's just you projecting. If you hate someone because they're different than you, and that goes for both sides, the left and the right, the religious and the spiritual, it's like we all, me included, have been guilty of shaming someone, even if it's just in our head and nobody knows. Shaming someone because they're different. And what we need to do instead is be like, that person has triggered me to think negative. There's something in me that I need to work on. And find people that help you blossom in what makes you you in a beautiful, healthy way. One village area over here is different than one over here. But so long as they can actually focus on the good so that they can actually help the environment, I mean, we're all in this together, yet we're all very different. So, people are so focusing on this mass stuff, like say vegan consumerism or, you know, all these different, it's like, quit. We need to be local and we need to be native. We need to focus on what is the most sustainable for our region. Instead of like, say, I don't eat meat, but I buy avocados from Mexico and kids are getting asthma from the pesticides there, and I'm buying quinoa from South America and coconuts from over here and dates from over here. Instead of this global destructive economy, what if we were a village again and we only grew locally and sustainably? And, we bought things from other parts of the world on occasion, but we lived mostly what is local and sustainable and honoring the earth, honoring the animals, honoring the plants, honoring the sky above us and the earth beneath us. Like, honor these things. Our job really is to be one with it. Honor it. Love it. Cherish it. I think we have the potential for so much beauty. I mean, I feel the water want to flow all out of me right now. I'm gonna get high on life, and then you guys are gonna think I'm nuts. Okay, let's see if there's anything else I want to say before. Oh, this is something else that's really cool. Okay, ask yourself. I'm so afraid I'm gonna get shadow banned. I've been using all these keywords that get you shadow banned. Shame, YouTube. I know your name, YouTube gods. I really don't, but okay. Q. That strange group that was out. I don't know if they're still around and kicking because I don't keep up with Twitter and all this weird stuff that they do. Some people are really into supporting them, and I thought it was kind of creepy because some of the stuff that they had released actually looked like they were admitting to like, what do you call it? Like messing with like elections and things. And it wasn't the big presidential election. It was something else. It was something minor where they had released numbers and it like actually matched the numbers of some election or something. And I was like, oh dang, these guys ain't playing. Like they're actually admitting to like doing stuff, right? I do think it's probably controlled opposition, but here's the irony. Q, that letter in the alphabet, I think is the 17th letter, which is in tarot, the star card, which is the sign of Aquarius. I wonder if that is why it is what it is. Because I know the Age of Aquarius is coming, so they're kind of trying to, usher in something. I don't know. And that does remind me, God, this video is getting so long, I gotta quit. Okay. I do think that the negative powers that be right now are trying to keep negativity at the forefront to help manifest their version of reality. Like, if they can keep you guys angry, upset, depressed, fighting, and pointing fingers and everything, and fear-based, like really afraid, whether you're afraid of a virus or you're afraid of government takeover or you're afraid, at the end of the day, it doesn't, you can't like let that stuff make you afraid, just stop being afraid. Please. That fear is feeding what they want to manifest. You're feeding the beast. Quit feeding the beast. Please. I'm begging you. Quit feeding that beast. Okay. Now, feed love. And that's it. Age of Aquarius, done. We're done. We got this. By the end of the first decan thing we're going through in Aquarius, after the first 700 years in the Age of Aquarius, we might actually reach a time in the middle of the second decan of actually peaking our ability to be supernatural. I know they talk about Aquarius being science, but think about it. Supernatural things can't be explained by science as we know it now. Science can definitely advance. And we have the best of all worlds. You can look at Star Wars and imagine being back in time, kind of like the ancient Viking days and Celtic days, and yet also being in the future. These tribal people, whether it's Native American, you name it, think of all these tribal types of people, and yet having the technology of the future, that can be Aquarius, okay? It doesn't have to be so sad though. And so it seems like Star Wars kind of had this tone of sadness. Sorry, I was tripping out for a minute because it looked like as though my video stopped. I'm like, it didn't stop. So why is it still going? Gave me some strange notification. Um, okay, so if you think about the age of Aquarius, by the time we get in the middle of it, what if we are actually manifesting a new heaven and a new earth? We might actually be able to be like where it talks about in the Bible how it's not normal for an infant to die or an old man to die. Like what we call old wouldn't be an age of dying at that time and everything. We actually can be in an era of such enlightenment. It is like the new heaven and new earth, you know. And I know it talks somewhere in the Bible too about these shepherds that don't feed the sheep. That I have it marked in this amplified Bible of mine. It's funny because when Jesus was like, feed my sheep, because there's this part in the Old Testament where it talks about how these shepherds are feeding their sheep. Well, you think the Illuminati and Luciferians and these false light people, these false light bearers, you know, they think that only they deserve knowledge and they're trying to keep it from us. They don't want to feed the sheep. They're trying to hide and squash down knowledge. You know, it's like, oh, it's ours. We want to use it to create what we want, stay in power. But it really is meant for all of us. You know, the knowledge that can come through in the age of Aquarius can be our way of manifesting through enlightenment and creating a heaven and earth that is one and new. And when we do that, when we reach that